Hello everyone, I'm Patrick Sheary, Curator of Furnishings and Historic Interiors here at the DAR Museum. And today we're going to be outside talking about some of the things that's going on in the scaffolding above and some of the work that the guys and gals are doing to restore Memorial Continental Hall. So come along with me and let's explore. Hey everybody, so here we are under the porch on the D Street side of Memorial Continental Hall, and we're going to see a couple of guys working on some things here, cleaning as well as some repointing going on. So we'll point over here to this guy. This gentleman is scrubbing with water and some mild detergent. He's scrubbing off some of the rust stains that were the result of the banner collars that had been up there for years, and it had left a very bad rust stain. So as you can see, it's actually coming off right before your eyes as he carefully scrubs things away. And then over here, this guy is working on removing some of the broken things that need to be repaired or replaced in kind as needed. So here we are at the top of the columns, and there's a lot of work going on today to remove rust. And as you can see at the top of this particular column, there's this band of rust here. And again, this band of rust was done from those banner collars that had been placed, it had been there for about 20 years, and they left this stain. And the stain was considerably darker when the bands were taken down. And so they washed them with just water. And then that wasn't satisfactory enough, and so they went to a poultice solvent, and that wasn't enough to pull out the rust. Now let's go over and see Nassar, who's the project foreman. He is working on removing the remaining rust with a pneumatic scrubber kind of tool that is going to remove the rest of the rust because again none of the rest of the other techniques worked very well. So he's going to show us, demonstrate for us what he's doing. So let's take a look. Okay, so here we are. We've come to another spot in the restoration process, and we have Fernando over here painting the windows up. They hadn't been painted in many years, and so we are painting it a white color. And we don't really know what the historic color was to the windows. We have these particular windows here are replacements that copy the original windows that were actually replaced in the 1960s. And so these copies, of course, have no paint history on them. We do have original windows in the building, which we are repairing and conserving as well as repainting too. And we've done some paint analysis on them to see if we could determine what the original color was, but we unfortunately we're not able to do that. Not enough paint survives from 100+ years of exterior paint work. So we've extrapolated from research what we think the color was. It was because this was a marble building, it was likely an off-white like we're painting it here. So we have behind me, we have Fernando, who's applying the first coat of paint, and he'll follow it up, of course, with the second coat after that, and then we'll all be good to go. So. I just wanted to walk by and point out some of our historic original windows. We have these arched French doors, which were installed in, of course, 1910s, and these have been painted up, and they're nearly finished. These have the second coat already applied to them. The guys and gals will come through, and they will remove the paint that's left on the glass. And when they paint windows, they usually put the paint a little bit over onto the glass so that there's a nice seal made between the glass and the glazing compound, and it makes for it just makes it better. And then the guys will come and gals will come and they'll remove the over painting, and it'll look a lot. Of course, all of these ragged lines here will go away, and it will be a very crisp line. Thankfully, in these original windows, the original glass also survives. And if you can look at, you might not be able to tell it in the video, but it's kind of wavy in appearance, and that's the result of the glass manufacturing process. And at this time, for the most common glass for homes as well as public buildings, was often, though not always, of the cylinder glass variety. And cylinder glass is made in a process, as the word cylinder suggests. Glass is blown into cylinders, and then kind of like it look like a sausage when it's done. And then as the glass is still heated, they cut the top and the bottom of the sausage off. They split it up the side, and then they flatten the glass out. And so that's why you have this kind of wavy appearance to the glass, because it started out as a cylinder. And cylinder glass was made on an industrial scale through the 1920s, when it was replaced by plate glass, which is a slightly different manufacturing process. But anyway, on this building, it's really nice to see the original cylinder glass, and it's still in place. We're going to look at some other original historic windows to the building. These windows originally, and they still do actually, pivot. They look like they're French windows, like French doors, where they open like doors, but actually these have a center pivot, which you can see down here. And there's one at the top as well. And the pivot, and the window operates on that center pivot. And that was done originally because behind this window were seating for the auditorium that used to be part of the what's now the DAR's library. But anyway, under here, this window has been painted up, and they just clean the bronze mechanism that makes the window run, and it'll help it to operate better. And they cleaned out all the layers of paint and all that extra stuff. So now it will operate a lot better, and it also looks nicer too. So that's that. And you can also see again the window has gotten its second coat of paint, and it's looking good. So as you see down here, the mechanism, that's just the bronze mechanism we're talking about, that was just cleaned out, is there. But also just above that, you might be wondering what this molded area is, which hangs over the mechanism, and that is part of the weather stripping system. So if we don't get much rain here under the porch, but if it's someplace outside where the elements do hit the window more regularly, then this molded area provides a drip edge, so that the water, as it hits the window, it runs down the window and then runs off this drip edge, and then then onto the sill, and then runs away. It drips away from or runs away from the building. So it's just these little tiny details that you don't often think about, but these are very important details, not only to retain, but they do important things.